Hello and welcome to Billboard. My name is Jeff Benjamin and I'm here in Seoul to bring you guys a very special interview. We're going to be talking to DPR Ian today, an artist who truly defines the crossover. Thank you for talking with us. Get comfortable.
Very comfortable. Very good to share.
You've crossed from b-boying
Yes.
to K-pop. You've crossed countries from
Yes.
Australia, Korea.
Multitudes of countries, yes.
Yes, in the US.
Right.
You've even crossed professions,
Right.
going from rap-oriented
Right.
singing, video
videos.
editing, visuals.
Wow, that is quite a lot. Having it laid out all like that, it really puts a lot of things into perspective. For me, it's like I've just really been on the run, on the fly, and I haven't really been able to process a lot of these things, and it's been quite the journey.
Tell me what you're comfortable with, because I'm never
Right.
sure if I should call you Christian or Ian or DPR.
Too many names. You could call me anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm called anything now. I'm just kidding. No, literally, like you just said, you pointed out there's so many errors I've been through. Pertaining to those errors, I think that's where a lot of the names came out of. So without even me knowing, like Rome was from my Sea Clown days,
Right.
And then it goes into Christian, which was the videography days, and now it's Ian. So I guess, Ian is perfect, yeah.
Because I guess, who were you in those early days that shaped you musically?
Right.
Those first musical
Right.
inspirations in Australia.
Goodness me. So I think, obviously back then in Australia, my name was Baron. That's my Korean name, like Pardon, right? So I think I was exposed to music at a pretty early age. And I still remember my dad bought me a birthday gift, I believe. He bought me the first music CD that and back then obviously we had CD players. So,
What CD was it?
so the CD was Daft Punk, and it was Discovery. And I still remember it. It was a bit of a shocker because the first song, like One More Time, when that hit, and I was just like, wow, what is this? So I just kept repeating it, just like the song itself says, one more time.
Right. Daft Punk is a pretty cool
Oh, yes.
first album.
Oh my goodness! Back then I didn't even know.
Most people in our era, I think, were like, Backstreet Boys,
Yeah,
and
Spice
Britney
Girls.
Spears.
Yeah, and I love Spice Girls, by the way. Yeah, so
Yeah, who doesn't?
yeah. I've listened to a lot of progressive music. Like whether that be Daft Punk or Moby or.
You're a Moby fan just like me.
Oh, you're a Moby fan?
Yeah.
Amazing. I just love the progression of having each instrumental just kind of coming in and just really defining the sound layer by layer. I think that's what really was a kickstart to my, I guess you could say, musical aspirations and stuff, yeah. And I think essentially that's also where I picked up the idea of character. Character development, when you're on stage and as opposed to who you are in your real day world and your real day life, or the real you could be on stage and vice versa. And I always found that very entertaining because you can literally be whoever and whatever you want to be.
One of the first characters
Yes.
that I think we might know you for
Yes.
would be your YouTube channel.
Right, B-Boy BU, right? This was right around the cusp of finishing my high school years, and I was a good grade A student up till year 11. I went rogue after that. I was like, I don't need any of this. I'm just gonna dance my heart out, So I think that was a very interesting period of time. I think it was just something I needed to use as a venting, like a ventilation, I guess you could say. Even the ideals of a b-boy is having a stage name where you can call yourself or people can know you for. That's how you would be identified as when you go on stage. So my one was b-boy BU. Shout out to my mum. My mum was the one that thought about this. And BU was, at the time, Baramu, which was U is my last name.
Really?
She's like, be you, right? And be you, be yourself.
Yes.
And it was just a perfect motto to go by. So I think from an early age, my mum also ingrained the idea of like, don't apologize for being yourself. So I kind of made that a statement.
You eventually debut in the K-pop scene
Yes,
in
I
boy
do.
band C Clown.
Yes, I do.
Again, a new persona for you.
Yes.
Especially the fact that your name was Rome at the time. Who was Rome
Right.
in this character world of yours?
That was around when I was 20, 23, 24. I am Korean, but you know, I don't know too much about Korea culturally, which was why it was the first place I wanted to go to when I finished school, was to learn a lot more about my ethnicity and culture. And in doing so, was plopped into the K-pop scene. What a way to learn, eh?
Of all places, yeah.
Oh my God, it was just blunt force, you know. So Rome was a name that kind of symbolized and was meant to represent strength and leadership. And I think that does come from the Spartans and the Rome idea back in the days, you know, how it was just all tough training. And I've always somewhat correlated K-pop with something that you had to really battle your way through it. And you know, it's kind of like a fish eat fish world, and as most places are, but K-pop especially. So I think Rome was a representation of someone I needed to be in order for me to face my fears, go through hard times, and not only that, but also maintain some type of relationship and balance and peace amongst your team. Because carrying that type of role, it's almost burdensome. But someone has to do it, you know, so that's kind of what I always told myself.
My tooth's been wiggling for you.
Early mid 2015,
Yes.
you made some moves on your social medias.
Oh, yeah.
Changing your social media name
yes, I did.
to your name,
yeah,
Christian
Yu,
Yu.
yeah.
I remember specifically the bio/description you changed, and, and I wrote it down so I didn't forget. They turned me into something I am not. Never forget what I did for you.
Wow. Oh my God, where'd you find that?
Oh, come on.
Where'd you pull that out of?
This is the crossover. We are crossing
smack.
paths.
Holy
But
smokes, man.
changing the name
Yes.
feels like a big move.
Yes.
But also, I think the fact that you having your own social media
Yes.
gave you a bit of power that
yes.
maybe you might have not had come
Before.
2012 or earlier
yes.
than that.
You're right. And it all kind of stems back to be you, B-boy, be you, being yourself, right? So quite ironically, I was myself, even when I was in the C Clown days. But you know, the K-pop scene, obviously you're more, I guess, propelled to being a product of someone else's curation. And just me personally, I need to do it myself. I need to make, you know, if it's the music or if it's the dance or if it's the visuals. So for me, I think personally, I had a bit of a hard time doing that, which is why that word, that statement came out. You know, they're trying to make me something that I'm not. You know, granted, the experiences were absolutely great, great and bad, by the way, but I don't regret it a single bit because it does shape you to who you are going to be and who you are at that present time. I think Rome was it was actually the most important process and step to becoming Christian Yu. Once I guess I was ready, Christian Yu had to come out.
Because, you know, after that, you move on, you meet the DPR guys,
Yes,
you guys start building the first big music video projects I remember seeing your name specifically attached to.
Yeah.
It's like Bobby from Icon's Hold Up video, you know, from Winners. Bobby, Taeyang's Wake Me Up.
Oh, yes.
And I remember you're credited as plus Ian, you know,
Yes.
parentheses DPR.
Yes, yes.
This is the beginning
This
of
is
that
the beginning.
DPR world. Tell me about creating this, building this. You're one of the co-founders.
It was originally the Pink Reels. So D was director. So that was the original acronyms. People keep asking me why was it pink? You know, I do like pink, right? But essentially, it's a color that I kind of always saw in my dreams. But later on, after I started adopting the name Christian, Christian was a name that really I had actually as more or less as a kid, other than Baron. So you know how it's plus Ian. Christian being Christ, the Christ as in the cross, because I believe in the higher power. And that was the Christ and then Ian. Interesting that you caught that.
Moodswings in this order
Yes.
is that first record that not only introduces us to DPR Ian, but introduces us to characters like Mido, Mr. Insanity,
Mr. Insanity, yes.
and also opening up about your own mental health experiences,
bipolar, yes.
I understand you're bipolar 1, which
Yes,
is
that's correct. A little bit more radical of a form. Yes, shorter periods, bigger bursts.
I think artists especially maybe even those from the idol world,
Yes.
it's tough to open up to the media about it, but you're very open about it.
The less we communicate, the more problems arise in the world. And I think the more nonchalantly you talk about it, as if you talk about what you're going to eat, you know, and what favorite food you have, the more you expose more of a less of a serious thing everyone has to kind of perceive it as. It is a serious topic, I'm not saying it's not, but how people can perceive it is all based on perspective. This is just personal, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
I spent my night on melting snow, just turning my sorrows into pure gold. And I laugh inside, cause you won't know I was here from the moment the lights showed.
Making these characters my own insanity that represents my manic lows or my manic highs can be portrayed as a superhero to me, you know. And for me, seeing it in that light also reassured me that I could coexist with this indefinitely. And I think that's kind of the message that I want to bring across. I don't have all the answers to everyone's problems, but at the end of the day, I do want to be someone that can represent you when you are going through something. And if it remotely even can touch base with you on any level, then, you know, I'm doing my job. So that's essentially it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a comfort for sure, you know,
Yes.
and you know, these stories continue on through Moodswings Into Order,
Into Order, it
the
does.
first full length, but also your first Billboard 200 entry.
Oh, really?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Oh,
And
sorry.
and I don't know if you would have
Yeah,
remembered this, but
no.
I shared it, you know, with your fans on
Right.
Twitter at the
Right,
time.
Twitter, yes,
You just
yes.
wrote, "That's crazy," with like a little crying, happy
Yeah,
face, you know,
yeah.
emoji.
No, I was over the moon for that too, yeah.
And I guess, you know, again, I want to give you so much credit because this independent movement,
Right.
these stories that are so personal to you, this music that is so
Right.
personal to you, you know, how does it feel to kind of see that recognition in that way?
It's interesting that you asked. I've never really expected any of that as I was starting this. Even if it affects one person, and if it's enough to change one person's world and for the better, then that was enough for me. For the longest time, I felt like I had somebody else inside me. And I wanted to give more meaning, more substance. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it. You got to go 200%, or you just don't do it at all.
It pays off, right? It's nice to
hopefully.
see that recognition in that way. And
Yes. Forever grateful, by the way.
yes, well, of course. And you know, it's 2021,
Right.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten
Yes,
Rings,
yes.
the album. You
Oh,
took
yes.
part in it
Yes, we did.
with a track on it. Because that album also hit a number 160 on the Billboard 200. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And,
Okay.
you know, again, it's you and a ton of artists on there, DJ Snake, 88 Rising, you know, a
yeah.
ton of diversity. Even, you know, some
Yeah.
unexpected, I remember BB and Mark Twan are on
Oh,
there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
interesting names on
Yes,
there. So
yes.
it was a cool track like Diamonds and Pearls, which I felt the
Diamonds.
Beatles references.
Never know if what she wants is possible.
You know, you make some very obvious Beatle references.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. I thought the song was about boba. You know the bubble tea.
Oh.
And when I first got it, I just thought the diamond tea pearls, because you know pearls in your drinks.
Okay.
So I just thought that's an interesting thing to think about. Maybe,
Hmm.
you know, maybe we're all living in a maybe we're all living in a pearl.
My mind didn't go there,
No.
but I like it.
Okay.
I like
oh, that's
it.
good. That's good. That's a
Now
normal
I'm
approach.
going to listen to the song in a different way.
Okay. The stepping stone.
Movies, Marvel,
my goodness.
cinematic soundtracks, you know, these
Yes.
huge things. You know,
we're expanding.
we're not just talking about 10 people
No,
here. This is
no.
a really big production
that's-
that way. Did you approach a movie track
Yes.
differently
Yes.
than maybe a...
Oh goodness. Yeah. Speaking of, I think ordeal of our universe is very in line with the cinematic orchestras and the cinematic OSTs.
I think I got my sight for you. I don't mean to let it through. I thought it through. Now come on, you know I just can't confuse.
For me, in the long run, I do want to eventually break into the cinema movie line. create our own OSTs and scores. You know, that's going to happen. You know, that is going to happen. I'm already planning that for the next 2 years actually.
Oh.
So yeah, that's a bit of a secret there.
The Regime World Tour is a huge success, and I say this, there were people coming to me saying, these are real numbers, like
Really?
real great audiences, really strong. But
Yes.
touring is difficult. Like
Oh my
touring is
goodness.
really difficult.
My God.
Because
Tour.
I give a lot of credit, and you guys didn't just do an LA show, do a New York show. You guys went out there.
Yes.
And
46 cities, if I'm correct, 46 cities.
on a personal level,
Yes.
what's that like for you? I've heard it can be
Yes.
difficult to go from the high of being
Oh,
on
yes.
stage,
Oh,
people
my
loving your
goodness.
music, to being home alone at a
Oh,
hotel.
no one warned me about that. No one warned me about like how if you get off your tour highs, you're just gonna plummet when you go home. So those resting periods, actually, I felt more lost than I've ever been. Because not having anything to look forward to briefly after that is what kind of deconstructs everything.
Maybe like Dear Insanity was
Yes.
the next thing you had to look
Yes,
forward to.
actually, yeah.
After the tour.
Actually,
or-
funny enough, you say that. I did have the idea of what I wanted to do next was to introduce my highs now. The whole time I was on tour, I was just on a high, just completely overly stimulated, and
Of course.
so I was like, you know what? It doesn't make sense that I have like this character that only represents these down, low times, when in fact I do have a lot of power when I go into the highs. And I always say though, when you're manically high, it's usually sometimes the most dangerous moment you can get into, because that's when you're the most spontaneous. Like, you can go for like an Americano and then go for a cafe latte. But but no, initially I started developing the idea of Mr. Insanity during tour, but at the end of the tour, it died out because I wasn't that high anymore, that high from that tour. So I had to find a way to quickly bring that back. And I guess it's funny enough, just as a roller coaster would go, as I went down, I started peaking back up, and I started picking up the album again, and it just kicked off, and it was just like that, don't go insane and everything in between.
Stay by my side when the nightmare goes. I've been feeling distant, just way out of control. But I laugh inside, just so you can glow in the dark when it's time for me. So just try.
You've talked about how it's a bit of a sidetrack,
Yes.
of the overall stories,
Right,
that you've
right,
been
right.
telling. But I noticed, that brightness. Talking about pink now, there's a little more.
Oh, yes.
There's purples and pinks and
You hit it on the spot,
a
yeah,
lot
that's what
more
a
of
pink.
this, and
You got it, yeah. Brought back the pink.
it also ends up on the Billboard 200. You hit a new peak as an artist. You had this great release party in New York.
Oh my God, yeah, we had so much fun, by the way, me and Jeff.
The moment that really resonated, and it was a beautiful night. We
Yes,
were in this
it
little
was.
movie theater. You
Yes.
got to unveil for the first time your
Right, it
visuals.
was, yes.
That's when we saw Don't Go Insane.
Yes.
Seriously, it means the world. I've never done something like this, but we should do this a lot more often. I'm rather enjoying this a lot. So thank you so much again. And it's time to get drunk responsibly now.
I just wanna shake off this bad cold.
But at the end, and
Yes.
I don't know if this was a surprise for you,
It
but
was.
there's a whole montage of
Yeah, I know.
of your collaborators, colleagues, family
Friends,
members,
everyone,
friends.
yeah.
People giving you messages saying,
Yes.
congratulations,
Yes,
you did it.
Yes.
And I thought that was
I love that you pointed that out.
Really
That was my
important.
favorite. That was my favorite moment of the night. I always say there is absolutely no point in doing this alone. There is absolutely no I in team. For sure, unless you're spelling team completely differently. That's so to say. I think for me it's more important that I'm doing with the people that I can cherish these moments with. Otherwise, I don't really see the point in doing this. It's just as much as it is for the public. It is just as much of value for the people that you do it with. I think that's really where a lot of the magic stems from. Yeah.
Have you opened up more to collaborations?
The idea of collaboration.
Or is there anything on your bucket list, or are you still?
In the beginning, initially, it was about more of bringing the characters to life. So it was
Yes.
it would have been a little weird to bring
Yeah.
certain artists into that joint. But now, actually, I am opening my doors to collaborations. And recently, after a long hiatus of directing other people's videos,
Yes.
DPRE Plus Ian or Christian or Cross Ian did make a comeback with the I Use video.
And action!
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
I felt you were
Yes.
very excited about that
Oh
project.
my goodness, yes, excited, absolutely excited and exhausted, but excited. Yes, you're right.
And IU, right? Not someone
Yeah.
we might expect a DPR collaboration with.
This is what I like. I like the idea of like you couldn't have called it, you know. And I'm always down for experimentation, you know. I love doing that with my food, you know. I love mixing things that people might disagree with, but you know, at the end of the day, it does create something new.
Were you the kid like dipping his fries in his milkshake?
Oh, I mean, above and beyond.
Yeah.
You know, I dip my tomato sauce in my milkshake. Sorry,
No.
about that. You could edit that part out.
Wow, that's
Sorry.
unholy.
No, it's unholy. Yeah.
Come down to the other line. The way that you move through all your heat, they never will understand that you were always my do or die.
If there's one thing people should know about DPI is we're not afraid to open our doors to anything. It's really more about pioneering what's new and what's. It's not. I never really thought it was about following a certain trend. It's always about coming up with one.
What's coming up? What does the future look like?
I am planning to release an extension of an album called The Hybrid. And The Hybrid is part of the universe of The Other Side and Dear Insane and Mito. But it's a lot. It's literally what you would think if you were to mix those two characters. You know, what would you get? What kind of sonically and visually?
To close things off, you know, like I think your fans and what my hope is
Right.
for, you know, this chat and this
Yes.
conversation is that they see you not just as the artist and I don't think they do only see you as the
Right.
artist, but they see you as the human, they see you
Right.
as someone worth
That's-
protecting, they see you as someone they want to protect.
That really does feel comforting. You know, that's the one thing I did get from my fans is I have a huge pride with our fans, dreamers. I feel like for us it's a very much a union, you know. So it's comforting one another, you know. And I think if we can establish that comfort zone, that safe zone, or not even a safe zone, if it's like you know those rooms that people just break everything. Not to say you should do that to us, but I'm just saying. But
you will be that for them.
we would
yeah.
literally want to be that,
I see that.
and we take a huge pride with our fans. You know, we're so proud of them, and you know, hopefully it's vice versa. But no, we're absolutely over the moon, and we'll do anything for them. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. Yeah.